Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. You know what bothers me? I'm going to tell you what bothers me. Here we go. This is the most recent news on the economy. It's just so disgusting to me. So we found out again that U.S. productivity continues to fall. Why is it, in your opinion, that well, first of all, the bad economic news doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. It's freaking relentless here. And then we have, the freak show politicians and the puppets on the mainstream media outlets here talking about how strong our economy is. What are they trying to do here? Why is it, in your opinion, that we can't get a single solitary shred of truth out of anything anymore? I've explained to all of you for many, many years, literally it's been many years, that we are witnessing the fall of an empire, okay? Every single empire, going back as far as you want to go in history, falls for one reason: corruption. Lies and corruption, which is one and the same. The people are misled on an epic scale right up until the very end. And no one gets held to account for it. It's a disgusting thing in my view here. But that's what we're witnessing, the decline of whatever is. There's nothing left of this nation anymore. It's a corporate agenda. You all know that. A wipeout of an entire class of people. And all we're getting is distractions, propaganda, misinformation. It just doesn't stop. Anyway, it's sickening to me, honestly. So the talk today, besides this, U.S. productivity report, which shows yet again productivity is declining, and I don't think that's a surprise to you. Everyone that follows this blog is crystal clear as to what is really going on. And it's not just the United States phenomenon. And that should tell you something. The global economy is contracting at its fastest pace ever on record. Well, who runs the financial system of the world? It's central banks. And then we have the zombie puppets, lawmakers here doing everything they can to empower central banks, like the freak show here with this Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to do nothing but increase inflation, but they can't tell you that, okay? They're playing the game along with the central banks, sending hundreds of billions of dollars over here, billions of dollars over there, conjuring things up out of thin air, whatever it might be. It's just so sick to keep the system going. It's a dying system. I mean, it should be clear to you here, all of you that follow this blog, understanding the mechanism, the debt-based economic model. It must be continually fueled. You have, again, our lawmakers here in the United States and around the world, it's the same scenario, creating reasons, just making them up to throw cash over here, that we don't have. Developed nations around the world they're all broke. They're destitute. They're trillions of dollars in debt. And every time a new act of Congress or whatever is instituted, it inflates the debt even further. And where does that cash come from? The central banks are more than happy to lend. They literally have fulfilled their goal. The goal of central banks is to be the buyers and lenders of last resort. Look at the stock market here, people. We have an economy here in the United States and around the world, again, contracting at its fastest pace ever. We have an S&P 500 that's nowhere near bear market territory anymore. Stocks keep going higher, yet again. It's the mechanism here. It's central banks continuing to buy debt as our puppet politicians around the world create reasons to continue to pull cash into the now from the future. And this is massively inflationary. But you're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to be lied to and distracted and propagandized. I don't know about you, but this stuff makes me want to throw up. I'm really serious. Anyway, on the back of all that, let's look over here at this freak show stock market. So right now, Stock futures are slightly lower, pointing towards a lower open. Trading doesn't start for about 35 minutes. 10-year yield hovering at about 2.8, 2.79, okay? You know the deal here. The stock market is sending a message right now to the Fed. Make sure you keep rates suppressed, keep the debt market stable, and that's exactly what's going on here, people. European Central Bank is doing it. The Federal Reserve is doing it. These two institutions operate in lockstep. I wrote an article. I put it out yesterday in my free newsletter, link in the description of this video, which covered a lot of really important information. I'm going to urge you yet again, if you're brand new here, to subscribe to my free newsletter. It's 100% free. You get a lot more information. During the day, things just pop into my head. So instead of, coming out here and doing, an impromptu video, I put out information, and I think you'll find some of that information and useful here. So anyway, keep your eyes on that 10-year yield. You know that. Keep your eye on the MMRI. The MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. People, there's not a better risk indicator for this market on the planet or off the planet. And it's also free to everyone. Link in the description of this video for that too. Pay attention to these things here. You'll have a very good idea as to what's going on. You don't have to guess when this whole thing is going to come crashing down. There's no guesswork here. We know when the big one's going to occur, when we see the meltdown in the debt market, which will cause the MMRI to spike off the Richter scale, okay? Which you'll see a rapid rising, and I mean a rapid, just like we witnessed several weeks ago, rising in that 10-year yield. There's no guesswork here, okay? We don't have to listen to the monthly crash callers. We know pretty much when it's going to happen. Sure, this market can correct 20, 25%. That's normal. All right, that's all we've seen here with regard to the S&P 500 over the last several months. It's been nothing more than a correction, just like I said right from the get-go. No one wanted to listen to me because they all listened to the crash callers. Anyway, so right now, like I said, stock futures are slightly in the red. 10-year yield 2.79. Gold catching a bid. Silver slightly under pressure, but what a run-up yesterday we had in silver. Cryptocurrencies under some pressure. Bitcoin around 23,000, just over that. Crude oil is catching a bid, and the dollar is weaker. So what's the setup for the market today? It's not great. It's not terrible either. But the market and market participants, it's early and I've only had one cup of coffee, okay, are watching for signs in the debt market as to what's going to happen. And of course, tomorrow, this inflation report, okay, the market is holding its breath to see what this inflation report is going to be. But you see, here's the thing, and you know this, I don't believe any of the data at all. It's all fake. It's all fabricated, just like everything else, okay? We have never seen, I haven't in my entire 57 years of life here on this planet, seen anything like we're seeing right now. It's the entire environment of lies, distractions, propaganda, misinformation, look here, don't look here. What you need to do in this environment, in my view, is just use your own God-given intellect. Listen to what your ears and your eyes and your senses are telling you, okay? Not what you're being fish-fed by the mainstream propaganda ministry or whoever they might be. Just look, people know the truth when they hear it. What I say here in these video blogs, if it's connecting with you, if it makes sense to you, well then, good. Like I just said, people know the truth when they hear it. It just rings true. Wow, you know what? That makes sense. I can see this actually going on. And it's so easy to understand when someone is lying to you as well. I mean, just look at it. Any single one of the Federal Reserve presidents, the chairman themselves, are corrupt politicians across the board. Like I said, this is the fall of an empire and the emergence of not only a new system, which we all know is coming, a system of enormous control, a one world government, but it transcends that. It goes even further than that with regard to, we witnessed, what was something that was created in the minds of some great men I'm talking about the men that created this nation here get twisted and perverted into something worse than they were trying to get away from. Our forefathers tried to create a nation that could govern itself, not live under the rulership of a king or a queen. But what we have today is much, much worse. Much, much worse than that. Anyway, it should be pretty obvious to you. All right, people, look, I'm going to end this video now. Please comment. What do you think about the stuff I've said here? Does it ring true to you, or is it just totally fake? I mean, what do you believe? I want to hear from you. I do read the comments. I promise you that. Share this stuff. Get it out there. Talk about this stuff. Utilize resources, for example, like the chat room, which is free to everybody right on my website. I consistently have to open spots. I pay for that chat room for all of you. Okay. Now, it fills up a lot, my chat room. So I keep adding spots. And right now there are open spots. Get yours before those fill up too. I will add more spots. But again, traderschoice.net. There's a link in the description of this video. Take you right to my website. There's that chat room. Utilize that chat room. A lot of smart people there. And thanks to my moderators over there, we're getting rid of a lot of trolls too. All right. Love you a lot, people. Share the video. Utilize the resources I have free to all of you. Okay, we are on the same team. I am on your side. You're on my side. We got to cover each other. We got to have each other's backs. This whole shitting thing is getting worse every freaking day. All right, I'm out of here. See you later.